Namaste, Linda here. I'm going to work on this really fun pose called Garbapindasana. So you need to be able to do the lotus to do the full version, but let's do step by step so we can do a few of the positions that don't have lotus first. Okay, so come to your yoga mat. And I suggest that you have a thick enough yoga mat that it doesn't hurt the spine when you're rocking on the floor. Usually you can put a blanket or even double your yoga mat, especially if you don't have a nice thick one. This one's fairly thick, so it's just on the edge. Okay, so if you're not doing lotus position, then you can still get the benefit of rocking on the spine. So different ways to do that. You could cross the ankles, hold the ankles like this, and then tuck the belly in and roll back and forth. So exhale down, inhale up. Rolling either back and forth, or you can try from doing a circle if you want. If you're doing a half lotus position, then just bring one leg in half lotus, and I would really suggest one day doing one leg, the next day doing the other. So if this time I'm doing my right leg in half lotus, then tomorrow I'm going to put my left leg in half lotus. And I'm going to work and just roll back and forth, or if you're managing to do the circle, then you can go ahead and do the circle. Okay, so now, if you're doing full lotus, then how we do this. First, you need to have external rotation in both the hip joints, even the second leg that you're putting in. And once again, I would switch it back and forth. Today I'm going to do the classic side, which is right side first, but in my own practice, I'll do the left side, and I even roll the opposite direction once in a while. So you lean back, feel the belly engaging, and then you want to close the back of the knee, hold the ankle from underneath, not grabbing like this. From underneath, I place my foot, and then before I let that foot completely land on the top of the thigh, I start to close the back of the second leg. Okay, I'm really slowing it down so that you can see the details. And then from there, I'm going to let that right leg come down and then pick up my left. So if you were to look at my knees, you will see that there hasn't been any torquing happening in the knees, because I've managed to move my pelvis in a way that I am able to bend my knees without them twisting. Okay, so now I'm in half lotus. How to bring those arms through? Okay, I see every kind of thing, right? We tried to do something like this, and then like this, and usually I've seen it work once, but most of the time it's not working so well. I would get the lotus first, like so that you get layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and then once you've steadied those foundations, maybe this will come, bringing the arms through. If it doesn't, then you can wrap your arms and hold something like that, and balance, and then do the rocking from there. If you do have the legs, and you do think you can bring the arms, I suggest putting the hands, the fingers like this, and not to mention spraying water. When I first was learning this pose, I would always wear shorts. I didn't wear long pants because when you start to sweat, like right now I'm not sweating, so they glide very easily, but when you start to get a little bit sweaty, then the pants get a bit sticky. So if I was wearing shorts, then it'd be skin on skin. It was much easier to slide my arms through. So I pick up my knees and I bring my fingers something like this, and then I kind of bring them in that direction, like an arc, not just straight down, and closest to the ankle as I can get. So I bring that arm, and ideally I want to be able to bend my elbow. So I want to be able to go through enough that my elbow comes to the other side. Then the second one, I do the same thing like that. And so the second leg is always a little bit harder. So pull, going through, and same thing. I want to have both my elbows through. And so if you're a little bit stuck, let's say you're here, you could work here and balance. You have to use the bundas to balance, so that's always a good project. And then release the arms and roll in your 9 rocks in the circle. Okay, because it's the womb pose. So I reach through, and if I can get my elbows through, then I might hold my hands here, or the way I was taught originally, was to squeeze the belly, pull my arms towards me, and then place my hands towards my ears. So I'm like kind of cupping my face, something like that. Holding this for 5 breaths. And then after the 5 breaths, making myself a little bit smaller into a tighter circle, and with the head down, hands on the head. And actually I just realized I'm not in a good spot to roll, so I'm gonna come like this. So I'm coming back, and then I reach back to behind my head, and I exhale, go back, inhale, come up. Exhale, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and ninth one, you wanna try to roll. You roll up a little bit faster, and then as you're rolling up, see the elbows are beyond, they're on the other side of my legs. I have to bring them up a tiny bit. Okay, so the opposite what I said at the very beginning. So as I'm rolling up, it's all happening in a split second. I pull my elbows out a little bit so that because if I try to lift up with my elbows below my legs, it's just, I'm sure there's really strong people who can do it, but for me this would be, I don't want to say impossible, but I'd have to work too much. So instead, I bring my legs a little bit lower so that this way I can have a little bit of softening in the elbows. And then I'm picking up my knees and I'm holding here Kukutasana. And you hold this for 5 breaths. And then if you can, the really strong people out there, you put your hands down and you bring your legs back while you're in lotus. But I'm going to show you a different way. So instead, you can bring your knees forward, put your hands on the floor, and kind of swivel your elbows in, like W arms. They're swiveling in, so the elbows come like they're going to come towards the navel. Squeeze those in, lean forward, and then relax. Put the elbows in the belly, push into the hands, push into the belly, keep the chest lifted, and lift the legs, and release them. Okay, so that was a quick tutorial on Garbapindasana. Hope you enjoy it, and it's a fun pose. You know, it really brings out the child in you. So have fun. Namaste.